They walked through a narrow entrance and stepped into Amos's secret private office. Books lined the walls, old and strange. Amos smiled. "You're a good and devoted pastor, Elijah, faithful, prayerful. But tell me the truth, are you not angry and frustrated?" Elijah hesitated, then admitted, "Well, it's normal sometimes." "I do feel that way." Amos leaned forward, his voice a low whisper. "You pray, you fast, yet your church is still not growing. Your members are still poor, your own children are hungry. Meanwhile, other churches are growing every day with eye-catching miracles. Do you know why?" Elijah just shook his head. "You see, Vika's prayer and fasting alone are not enough to run a successful ministry in 2025. You need extra forces." Amos reached into a big drum and pulled out a wrapped object. He opened it slowly, revealing a white ceramic basin plate. It had strange carvings that seemed to shift and move under the dim light. "This white basin plate," Amos said softly, "is the reason my altar never runs dry. It recognizes sacrifice. Once it recognizes you, you'll never be the same again." He continued, "As members drop their tithes and offerings into this basin, their destiny and that of their families are taken." Pastor Elijah listened, deeply uncomfortable. But the memory of his family's suffering, the shame of his poverty, was a powerful weight inside him. Amos then placed an envelope on the basin plate. The lamp in the room flickered, and in an instant the envelope just melted into the air, without any flame or smoke. Elijah was terrified. Amos smiled. "Every time a hand touches this basin, the heavens respond, but blessings require balance. The white basin plate chooses its own prophets." The room suddenly grew cold. Elijah clutched his Bible tightly. Amos's voice was right next to his ear now, pressing in. "How many more years will you shout into empty chairs? Don't you want your wife to finally rest from all the suffering and tears? Don't you want your children to eat good food and wear nice clothes? This basin can change your life." Elijah hesitated, but the thought of hunger and shame crushed his resistance. That night, he went home with the wrapped white basin plate. When his wife asked what it was, he lied. "It's just an offering plate Pastor Amos gave me." Later that night, while everyone else slept, Elijah just stared at the white basin plate. It seemed to be glowing softly in the dark. The following Sunday, he placed it on the altar. Only 4 members attended the service. When they gave their small offerings, nothing happened. But later that evening, a young woman ran to his house, shouting, "Pastor, my sister from America just called. She's going to pay my rent for the next 2 years." Days later, another member testified of miraculous sales in his business. Another of a sudden healing. Word began to spread like wildfire. The church grew overnight. Money flowed in and testimonies multiplied. Pastor Elijah's church became a sensation. The white basin plate had begun its work, but in the back of his mind he kept hearing Amos's warning, "The plate chooses its prophets." Soon, the blessings turned to deaths. Each incredible testimony was followed by a terrible tragedy. One by one, those who had been blessed by the plate died in mysterious, unexplainable ways. At night, Elijah couldn't sleep. He heard whispers in the dark and saw the faces of the dead in the shadows. He felt the white basin plate moving by itself in the other room. His wife saw him wasting away, constantly trembling, his eyes wide with fear. Finally, he broke down and confessed everything. "This plate, it's not ordinary. Pastor Amos gave it to me. Every blessing, it comes with a death." His wife cried out, "You brought this into our home, into our church. Why? You fed something you didn't understand." Days later, during a packed Sunday service, Elijah lifted the white basin plate again. But this time, as he looked out at the congregation, he saw them. The dead members, sitting in the pews, staring back at him. Invisible hands suddenly seized his throat. He gasped for air, clawing at his collar. The crowd shouted in confusion as their pastor fell to the ground, begging God for mercy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to follow or subscribe for more.